up? Mike Westerdahl here from Critical Bench. We got John Romanello, otherwise known as Roman. We're at this badass powerhouse gym in Tampa, Florida. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They got all kinds of stuff here. Today I'm going to ask Roman some questions about fasting. We got a lot of guys interested in strength and muscle on the Critical Bench site. I wanted to check with you. I know you got a product coming out that incorporates a lot of fasting. Like, you don't typically think of fasting anabolic or building muscle. How does that work hormonally?
So the same reasons that fasting is really effective for fat loss also make it effective for muscle building, with the exception of obviously the caloric restriction stuff. So one of the reasons that fasting exacerbates fat burning mechanisms is because of the way it affects your hormones. So one of the most effective muscle building compounds we know is growth hormone, which is effective not only for muscle building but also fat loss. You produce a lot of growth hormone in a couple of different times. One, when you're sleeping. Two, anytime you're in a fasted state. And three, whenever you train. And so to maximize a combination of these things, what we normally do is, if you know you're producing GH when you're sleeping, and you know you produce GH when you don't eat, then instead of having breakfast first thing in the morning, you just push your first meal of the day back several hours. And so you actually extend the GH secretion period from your sleep time because you're fasting. And then we know that it bumps up again when you're training. And so at the end of that fasting period, you train increasing GH again, and then you can take in your post-workout calories. So really, in terms of muscle building, the more advanced mechanisms are obviously hormonal. But ultimately, really, it comes down to two things. It's stimulation and fuel. So if you're training hard and you're taking in enough fuel, you're going to grow. But if you're using fasting to manipulate your hormones to get that GH surge and the extension of the GH surge, then there's really no reason that it isn't going to potentiate muscle building. So really, all you need to do is take in more calories. The difference between fasting for fat loss and fasting for muscle building is the amount of calories that you're taking in. So the main caveat I would offer is when you're using IF for muscle building, it becomes hard for a lot of people to take in the amount of calories they need to grow in that shortened window. Because if you're used to eating 6 meals a day over a 16-hour period, now you're trying to eat 3 meals in that 8-hour period, and it's hard to have each one of those meals be calorically dense enough to facilitate muscle growth. So one of the things I always say is, if you're having trouble getting enough calories eating, just drink it. Just put more calories in your post-workout shake, have a shake with dinner. The same thing we always tell people who are trying to do bodybuilding the traditional way, just now you have to do them in a slightly more advanced manner. But again, the hormonal benefits of fasting are good for fat loss, of course, but also for muscle building. There's really no difference.
Cool, thanks a lot.
Got it.